everyone. Today we have Mystic River here, talking about their music. And so let's start by just simple introductions.
Well, I'm Kevin. I play guitar and other stringed instruments in Mystic River. We met. We're all in another band earlier on, or most of us, and it turned out we had a lot of original music and we wanted to produce it. So that was sort of the formation. The idea behind Mystic River was to develop all our original music. And yeah, that's me, Kevin.
Cool.
And hi everyone, I'm Lena. I'm also part of the band and have also a long history of going back to other musical collaborations. And I love singing, so I'm mainly a vocalist. I use music for therapeutic purposes and as a music therapist as well. So I find this type of music just brings me so much joy, and it's good for my own well-being as well. So yeah.
Richard, you can go next.
Hello, yes, I'm Richard, and as with Kevin and Lena, we've all all of us have been involved, I think, with other bands, and so I'm a singer, and I'm just really grateful that I've been able to be a part of this collaboration and express myself, in a way that otherwise would not be possible.
Michelle, you can go next, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Michelle. I'm in Sydney, and I have been writing poetry for probably as long as I can remember, since I was probably in primary school. I think I've been writing songs since then too, but it's been a bit kind of unconscious and just growing over the years. So I'm mainly writing songs and singing. And singing has been something I've always loved, but I've never realized kind of how much. It's just been sort of a slowly, gradually developing thing. And yes, I was also in that, the other band, and happy to be able to just write new material, and really happy that people are happy to use it.
Awesome. Asmira?
Hi, I'm a violinist, classically trained, and I've known everyone in this band for many years, and have played sort of in sort of previous different groups with them. And I moved back from the US where I was living, and very, very happy to be not too far from Kevin, and have a chance to play violin on all these wonderful original songs that are being produced.
Cool. So glad. Did I miss anyone?
There's actually quite a lot of people missing, aren't there?
Okay.
There's a lot of other people.
I went easy on you, Hitesh. I thought if I get everyone, it will be
I see.
full chaos. So invite everybody. I thought
Okay.
yeah.
Did we get everyone in the call for introductions, or is anyone remaining?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What about Jessica?
I'm here. I'm
Cool.
Jessica. I'm Kevin's amore. And apart of that, I'm like the ether element. I like to create connection and help everyone to be together and spread this amazing music all around the world.
Nice.
This is
Cool.
fine to do.
All right.
The PR department.
I see. Okay, nice. All right. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for the lovely introductions, right? So tell me a bit about the band, right? So the name of the band, right? The Mystic River. So where does that come from?
Richard? No, Kevin?
Well, I guess the music we're making is based in our shared interest in meditation and our spiritual journey through meditation, and that's an energetic journey. So there's an energy that we're trying to describe in our music behind the material world. There's an energetic sort of energy, and it's spoken about by mystics through time. So we draw on a lot of music from some saints, some mystic people through history who tried to describe this energy. And so we wanted a name that described that sort of that feeling. So a river is like the flowing energy, and it's mystic because we still don't really fully understand it. It's mysterious, it's there, but it's unknown also to lots of people. So I think that's where the name came from.
Oh, cool. And so when the band was formed, right? So was there any, I mean, you talked about your common, inspirations in terms of meditation, but was there any other thing um, that meant this group of people came together, or it was just a spontaneous process that, because you were in a different band and then it just worked out?
Well, I'll answer again, but it's pretty much convenience because we all know each other. And like if Michelle writes a song and she sends it to me, I go, oh, Asmira could play violin on that. It would be great. Alina could sing. They're people I know. So if you have a song, like we have many different genres, different styles of songs, you want to create the atmosphere around the lyrics. So luckily, we have a community of musicians to draw on. So the band is not really fixed. In my mind, anyway, I never thought we have this many people in the band. It's like if we need a saxophone, we call someone, a saxophone player we know, and he's in the band. So it's basically a community of musicians, and we just draw on the various talents we have.
And it's influenced by the songs themselves, I guess, kind of determine what kind of feel.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah.
And also everyone has styles of music they like. So we're also bringing those things in. I think the main idea in my mind anyway was that we don't have a limit on style or anything. If someone comes, like Michelle's written a country and western song, which for me is challenging, but I'm willing to embrace it. So whatever people have, we're open to it, and because people have that music as their passion, then it creates something around it. So it's basically a very open idea in the group.
So the band has a couple of albums already released. Is that correct? So this is gonna be your third album.
No, you're the expert.
Yeah, we have a couple of albums out, and another one that's going to be released in about a month. Yeah, at the moment we have a lot of material. So because we have a lot of songwriters, and the first one, like I wasn't sure how it would become homogenous because it has a very wide range of styles, but somehow it does come together when you listen to it. And so we've gone with that formula that basically if someone has an instrumental or an Indian tune or an Irish tune, we just include them all, and maybe with the shared musicianship and voices that creates an integration.
I see.
Sound. So,
yeah, I've listened to many of your songs from the second album, and one of the standout song for me was "So Simple." So that is, it's a simple song, but it's so deep. I mean, and my 7-year old son, he also likes that song so much. So sometimes we kind of listen to it together. It's a really nice song.
Right.
And so for the third album, right? So is there like a main theme that you're working with, or it's just like spontaneously you have a collection of 10, 12 songs, and then let's say now this is an album, or do you stick to a particular theme?
Uh, well, a theme has emerged in my mind anyway. I guess
Hmm.
because I'm producing it, I'm not sharing everything with everyone all the time. So
I see.
uh, I haven't actually shared all the music with everyone that we've produced as
Hmm.
an album. So this is a bit, uh, they might all come and hit me with a hammer afterwards.
No, but like Kevin, you normally just, share it with us before and then there's a feedback kind of a bunch of feedback that we will all share. And I'm sure if somebody really doesn't like something, he'd put the kibosh on it. But like, yeah, I mean, there is this sort of interaction between the group, and
I see.
I think that, yeah, the feedback kind of hones down certain aspects of songs, or what should or shouldn't be included, or
Hmm.
about the name of the band, that took a while.
Yeah, I mean that's the,
Mm.
the the most
Yeah.
important name anyways, right? So um,
Yeah.
I mean, following up with the same theme, right? So when you start making a song, right? What's your kind of an evolving process that has worked out so far, right? I mean, one or two of you are singer-songwriters here, right? So I mean, one of you maybe writes the lyrics, and then you come together as a band, and then you have some demo sessions together, and then you go to the recording studio, or what's the process here?
Do you want to answer, Michelle? You wrote So Simple, so maybe that's a good example.
Well, I'll start with that one. See, So Simple it was just a small little song that happened, and I actually didn't plan to do anything with it. We were together with my daughter, who's the pianist on that song,
Hmm.
and Kevin was there, and a few others were there, and we just played it. And I didn't intend on actually recording it. Kevin said, "Oh, we should record it." So I thought, "Oh, really, really, should we?" We did in the end, and um, it didn't involve much because there was only a vocal and a piano. But
Hmm.
often, often it's as far as I'm, involved, it will involve me because I don't play an instrument. So I'll just sing a song and send it to Kevin, and he'll sort of work out what instruments might be good on it. And of course, there's not just me writing songs. I have to mention Angela Morenia and a whole lot of other people writing songs, and Sarah's involved. There's a whole lot of other Mark writing songs, I think, at the moment. I think it's all different for everybody, depending on how I'm a bit far away in many ways, not just physically, but in all sorts of other ways. I'm a bit away from everyone at the moment, so I contribute what I can, and then I see what happens to it, and hear it along the way and give feedback, and pretty much I'm always happy with it.
I see. And you're all based in Australia, right? So,
Yeah,
So
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
now I am. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
sort of
All right.
close together, but also not that close together. So we don't really get together, all of us, very often. And like if you looked at all the artists on the upcoming album,
Hmm.
we've actually never all got together in the same room.
Oh, I see.
I don't
Okay.
know if that's sort of a leftover thing from COVID. Like the album before was sort of, a lot of it was in COVID, and
Hmm.
or it affected the mood of it, but also it changed the way we did music a fair bit in that now we do, like the bass player is in Melbourne,
I see.
so we just send her the files and she sends back the
Okay.
thing.
I
So
see.
we're not collaborating a lot, like all sitting in the same room.
I see. Okay.
It's interesting. It's like a different sort of process.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
that's kind of the reality of these days anyways, right? So I mean, there is so many these all online platforms where you can, s- they send music and then you kind of compile together in a, in a studio. And yeah, that's how it
yeah,
works now.
for me, it's not the ideal way, because when
Yeah.
we get together, like as Mira's up in, we're in the Blue Mountains and Lena's up here,
Hmm.
and so we do get together occasionally and play some music, and it's different if you get in the same room and you get different ideas and you play a song and it has a different feel and you get a different idea about how
Right.
it could. So I'm hoping we can all get back to that, where we just hang out together and make music, because
Mm.
something magic happens in that
Right.
space.
Yeah. Very true.
Well, there's plenty of music making that's happened in the past in person. So
Yeah,
there is that sort of special source
Mm.
already existing, and that's been over many years.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I think
Um,
that foundation's important, and
mhm.
yeah,
yeah,
it's like a comfortable.
Like a zone that you are already connected together, and then you
Yeah,
know, what this person is capable of, and then you can use that as your advantage. So okay, nice. Um, so
yeah.
tell us a bit about your upcoming album, right? So anything that you want to share about it for the viewers. I mean, thank you for sending those previews. Can we talk about those previews that you sent me, or it's too early to
yeah,
talk?
yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. I sent Across the Sky, which is a song by Michelle, and maybe she wants to talk about that. And also two Irish tunes. One is The Wanderer's Way, which I think we're all singing on, and another one called The Seeking Mind.
Hmm.
So those two I can talk about. They're set to Irish tunes,
Hmm.
traditional Irish
Yeah.
tunes. So there's another member of the group, Mark, who's not here today. He's Irish, and
Hmm.
he loves traditional Irish music. And a few years ago, we started playing some Irish music together. I'd never really done Irish music.
Hmm.
The first song on the first album actually came from Michelle hearing us jamming an Irish tune, and she wrote that song from that, which was really beautiful.
I see.
Uh, and so those two songs, they're my first two songwriting efforts, actually.
I see.
So I haven't let them out into the world yet, which is sort of a nervous thing and a strange thing. So I don't really feel like they feel separate from me already, just because once you get, like, Mark's singing it, so it sounds different.
Hmm.
I can't sing, so I only use my imagination. And once someone sings it, and then as Mira's playing violin, and then all the voices come in, it just develops in its own way, in unexpected ways. So I wasn't really sure what those songs would be like, or even if they'd work as songs. Um, for me, I wrote those songs in response to, especially The Seeking Mind, to do with just looking at the world as it is now, and I guess feeling disheartened sometimes about things that are going on, and
Hmm.
how we're getting lost, and things are going badly. And it's easy to feel depressed about that, or angry, or just upset. Um, so for me, that's a strong influence for songwriting, to try and express that, but express it in a positive way that's sort of uplifting, rather than being, you know, hopeless about it. So I guess I'm still an optimist about the world. So those two songs are sort of about that.
I see.
And maybe Michelle wants to talk about Across the Sky.
Yeah, Across the Sky. It's a bit of an old song now, actually. When we tried to record it some time ago and it kind of didn't quite work out. I think something went wrong with the electronics or something. It didn't happen, but it's it was an important song to me at the time. It's very much about how would you say, well, following your heart, really, and your spirit. So that's really what that song is about. So it's an important song for me.
I see. Is that the one where it talks about the shooting star, or is the other one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when I heard that song, I had goosebumps. So it was
Oh, nice.
it was quite amazing. So yeah, I mean, spoilers, right? So cool. Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing that. So let me get back to another question here. I mean, this is a kind of a philosophical question, right? So, I mean, and this question is for everyone here, right? So, what do you think is the aim of a song, right? What should a song do, right?
What should a song do?
What's its aim? So, I mean, when you create a song, right?
Yes.
What's the goal, right? What's the aim? What should a song be able
I
to
guess
do?
shall I talk? If it's me, because obviously everyone has a different aim there, I suppose. But if it's me aiming to write a song, it'll usually be to either give people, to uplift people. That would be my first desire. They would hope that would be uplifting for people, joyful or peaceful, or something they can relate to, and make them feel better. That's mostly what I would be aiming to do now in the way that I'm writing songs at the moment.
I see.
I could just sort of, I suppose, add or, you know, extend what Michelle is saying. And it's like, first of all, it's a really key question, isn't it? Like, why do we even do this? You know, why are we even here? I haven't actually written any songs, and we do what we do because we need to get something out. You know, we need to express ourselves, and so then if we can share that with others, if other people resonate, you know, first of all, other people in the band, and then eventually an audience, whether that's a live audience or an audience that's listening to a recording, it's really like a basic human instinct. But it really starts, I feel, for me, like I just need to get something out. And if that's somebody else's melody and somebody else's words, I mean, the fact that I haven't written it, if it resonates for me, it still feels like it's coming, you know, from me, or at least my contribution is coming from me. So I think it starts with, we just need to get something out.
Yes, can I say something about that? I think it's very important that all people realize that if they've been given something, whether it's a capacity to play an instrument or to sing or to dance or to do anything, you know, then you can consider that as a gift, and everybody has their thing. You know, we don't all have the same thing, but we need to use that. And I think, you know, for a lot of my life, I've been very reluctant to do those things, to use them, because you don't know what are people going to say, and what's it going to be, you know,
You're gonna be
so
good
many
enough, right?
things that stop you from actually
Right.
doing what you're supposed to do, you know, doing the thing that you've been given, whatever that is, to use it. And for me now, I kind of think of it as a responsibility. I think it's your responsibility to use whatever you've been given to contribute, you know, to uplifting the world in any way that you can.
I see. Nice.
I'm also
Can
thinking.
I jump in? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, that, yeah, it's true. It's, well, Richard was saying what I had in my mind, which is this instinct. And for me, it's a creative instinct. It's unstoppable. Like you've got to, it's just something to be shared. And I guess resonance being a wavelength, I mean, it creates it creates this resonance and wavelength out there, and those who jump into that wavelength, literally on the same wavelength, it brings people together, and in a world that's so fractured, that's so rare and precious and important. And even if we don't know each other personally, or
Right.
we could be thousands of miles away, we can share in that captured moment in the song or whatever in the music, and it literally can transform our consciousness, our lives. I'm not just saying one song, but I mean music in general. I'm talking
Yeah.
generally from my experience, and I mean, as a performer, it's this sort of performer, listener, creator, all these sort of aspects come together when music is performed or recorded and shared, and it's meant to be. I mean, it's like the way humans talk and share and communal. Music is just a sort of higher aspect of that, that it's meant to be shared. I mean, birds sing in the forest. It's
Right.
we're no different.
I was just going to quickly say that, as Kevin alluded in the beginning, like the mystical, the spiritual side of what we do is very, very important. And it has to be said that we would all agree that in essence, we are all the spirit. So what we're really talking about, ultimately expressing, is not our thoughts or anything like that, but fundamentally expressing the spirit. And the marvelous thing about that is that if we are all the spirit, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but if we are all the spirit, that just doesn't include us, but the people that are listening to the music, then we find that common ground and that commonality, regardless of our background, our age. Ideally, I think also regardless of our musical inclinations, because when we touch that innate spirit within all of us, then we become one. It's that thing that every performer aspires to, is that point where the performer and their audience become one. So that's what we're all constantly aiming for.
Cool. What an answer that was. Wow. Nice. So my next question is, what would be an ideal song for the band?
I'd love to get us doing some Kabir poetry. That's sort of a dream, and I need to have the time and headspace to do something. I want to jump in the composition ring, throw my hat in the ring and do that. That's my personal one, but favorite. Yeah. But I think this group of, this motley crew that we have is well suited to his poetry. He's very much sort of barrier breaking, and yeah, he has that sort of he made such efforts to sort of show people it through his poetry that our life force and our life essence is far, far greater than any sort of silly human-made barriers that we put up.
Yep.
So that really, I think his poetry resonates well with this group, and just have to find the right one and the right music, and it'll come, I'm sure.
I
I
see.
think, I think it's a good
Yes.
one for times as well. He was very
Yes.
non-conformist. I'm not going to
Yes.
kowtow to ideologies. I'm going to be true to myself. That's very much the message. And being my own master, being not swayed by trends. And I think that is a really powerful message for today.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I listen to Kabir a lot, and I sing Kabir songs too. So the Nirbhaya Nirguna song is something out of this world. So whenever I go to my friends' places or somewhere, they always ask me to sing that song. And so
Wonderful.
it's
That's the
like
one
you
I
said.
want. That is the one song I really want us to record. So there you go.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's
Yeah, I
amazing.
think
So
there's a lot of English speakers who just don't know about his poetry, and I know that the translation wouldn't really be the same. I
yeah.
mean, the question of do we do it in the original language or in English, but I don't know, maybe we could do a bit of both. That's been on my mind, and probably something we should,
Mhm.
have a little consult,
I see.
one of our sort of chaotic email threads that we discuss things.
So what is the future of the band?
So the future of the band is bright. uh,
Yeah.
as long as everyone has enthusiasm, and there's just so much creativity there. Actually, the more we do it, the more people seem inspired, and there's just so much material now. So I just and uh, and more people to include. So uh, this year I was in Europe, and I got together with some musicians I know there, and we wrote some songs. So we're going to include them in the next album. So there'll be some new voices, some new instruments, and some new flavors. So uh, I think as long as everyone's enthusiastic, there'll be,
Mhm.
and hopefully we will all get together more in.
In
I,
person.
I would like we're not doing any live concerts, but
Mhm. Yeah.
I meant to
But
do
we
that.
could.
We
Yeah,
could,
that would just add a dimension that's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see, but at the moment it looks like everyone's enthusiastic, so that's good.
One thing that I always ask musicians and artists is when you create a song, right, or any art form, right? So I mean, let's get down only to a song, right? So when you create a song, right, do you create it for yourself or for the viewers, or what's your thought process there, right? So when you are choosing the lyrics, do you write it that in a way that you'd like the lyrics, or you see like, okay, this is my niche, right? So this is whom I'm singing this song for, and the viewer will like this, you know. So how do you choose between that?
Shall I say something?
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
I if I'm writing a song, then I'm definitely not thinking about what somebody wants to hear. That's
Mhm,
definitely not what I'm going to do. I mean, you've got to be honest first of all with what you're saying. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't
mhm,
carry any weight for anyone.
mhm,
So, there's no point in singing or writing for in terms of what you think someone wants you to say. Um, Often, if I'm writing something, it will be because maybe something's bothering me, and I don't even know what it is. So
mhm,
I'm working that out. And sometimes I'll redraft it and make it more accessible to other
mhm,
people.
mhm,
I might, often I might write in first person, I might change it to second
mhm.
person so it's more
Right,
relatable to other people.
right.
I mean, ultimately, I'll be hoping that whatever I'm doing will be relatable to people. So I mean, we all experience similar things.
Mhm,
So I mean, like Richard said, if you are singing a song that kind of means something to you, even if you haven't written it, then
mhm,
I guess that's
mhm. Yeah,
hopefully a goal that I would have, that people can relate or get something from it ultimately. Otherwise, probably no one will listen to it, right?
right, right. I mean, and that's also the difference in, creating a song for a band or for an artist versus writing for a movie, for example, like for a situation, right? So there is a situation, now write a song for that, right? Versus you creating something that comes innately, and sometimes you have some inspirations, you get some lines in your mind, and then okay, let me stick to that, and then you kind of start letting it flow, and then the words come, as
Yes. There's
yeah.
there's actually two things though. Actually, one is I don't really have a particular style personally. It seems to change a lot depending on the day.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that, Kevin might have some music that is really great that they like to play and might want some words. So I'll try to work with the words that are already there as much as possible because we're like changing things to make them,
Mm-hmm.
more along the lines of what we do as a group. Um, in that case, it's a bit more difficult because the words are already there, and I need to sort of work with what's there.
Mm-hmm. I see. Um, so the other question is kind of related to your inspirations, right? And that goes to all the team members, right? So I mean, everyone has their own inspirations. So were there any singer songwriters that you grew up looking up to, right? So and you wanna kind of have that style or the motivation that they had in their songwriting to kind of replicate that or kind of or be inspired about it, right? So any artist that you'd like to kind of mention or any events or experiences you had.
Yes.
Yes, go on.
Um, Many, and even though my own professional background is Western classical, I've been hugely inspired by artists like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan,
Mm-hmm.
who I had the privilege of hearing in concert. And I have to say, even now at my age, I think he was up there in the top, top small handful of the most amazing artists I've ever heard live.
Mm-hmm.
And his music and performance and songs were completely transformational. And so I guess, not necessarily that I'm trying to emulate his exact style or music, but his complete immersion in his and dedication to his performance and music. The way he does that is um, he had this sort of creative potency that I aspire to as a musician. And then I guess the music of Hildegard von Bingen, who is a German saint and intellectual and amazing artist. She wrote music, and obviously she was an abbess, so it was spiritual in nature, but she also had visions and was an artist and all these other things. And so um yeah, the kind of depth that she gets to in her sort of complete dedication to her music. There's nothing sort of frivolous or like unserious. I don't mean like boring serious. I mean just um, she completely believes in what she's doing.
Yeah,
So as an
completely.
artist,
Mm-hmm.
that's very inspiring. So I was just going to mention those two, and there are many, many more. But yeah, I'll stop talking. Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting because I personally I've listened to so many different genres of music and therefore many different artists. Couldn't
Right.
agree more with Asmira that people like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and Hildegard von Bingen very very different both in terms of time and space,
Right.
and yet they have that common. There's some common thing there. But I guess earthiness is an important aspect. And if you ask this question to us, I don't think anybody has the market in mind when they're, writing or performing or recording, the music that we do. Whereas if you ask the same question to somebody else and they were to answer honestly, then the market could be the whole point. Like you said, movie music. Well, not it could be any pop music, for example. A lot of it
Yeah.
is uh, is written and performed with the market in mind.
Right.
So, but I can honestly answer. People may be reluctant or too shy to say this, but all the music that we've performed, either traditional music or songs that have been written by the group, um, it's really about expression, and I'd be surprised if anybody had a particular audience in mind when they were writing or performing some of this music.
Nice.
But I don't know, maybe somebody else has a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think songs are often about, when it comes to writing songs, it's about some emotional catharsis, something that moves you, something you
Exactly.
straight about. And there are just so many different genres of music in the world, and there is not like the one song that's going to make everybody feel exactly the same way. We all have our own personal relationship with music, and we are moved by different types of music. It's quite well known that, you know, we all respond differently to music based on our background. And I would say, you know, I totally concur with that feeling about Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, with the poetry in his, the Urdu language. The meaning of these words are incredible. And I think any sort of seeking, any sort of soul searching and seeking that goes on in music, I'm always drawn to. That goes for people like Bob Marley, for example, was someone as an adolescent I really loved, because he talked about life being worth more than gold, about getting away from isms and schisms. And his album Exodus was all about, you know, reflecting on slavery and colonialism. And there are so many messages in his music then that is still so resonant, in fact, even more resonant today in terms of his lyrics. Some might not agree with his you know, lifestyle and that kind of thing, but he was such a seeker of the truth, I think. I also love artists like Kate Bush, who has recently had a resurgence through the show Stranger Things. So her songs have suddenly come back into the zeitgeist. But she will write a song about being a housewife and how beautiful it is to have a washing machine that can wash all our clothes for us. Or she will have a song called 50 Words for Snow, so different ways of describing snow. And she'll go from has a most powerful song about Joan of Arc, and, you know, those kinds of songs that explore all these very human concepts. I'm very inspired by that. But, you know, to name just a few is very difficult for all of us, I'm sure.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
I always feel like music is a bit like food. You know, the food nourishes our physical body, and the music nourishes our soul. And you know, and like we have junk food, we have junk music too. And we, you know,
Fast food and, you know,
we
fast
have
food.
like comfort food that we're used to, that we just want to hear. So maybe like culturally we'll be used to hearing certain things, and it's all good, you know, it's all relevant to where our consciousness is in the moment. Sometimes we just want to listen to a song about a washing machine, or sometimes when we just have that deep yearning in our soul, we want to listen to something about that has no description or words. There's no descriptive. It's just you know, sometimes just instrumental stuff that really can capture the mysterious stuff that life is made of. And that's what we seek out when we listen to artists like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, or, you know, or so many great artists like that, whether from his genre of music or others. You know, even the Beatles sometimes have some beautiful beautiful songs. I mean,
I'm a
that's
big
still
fan.
very old-timey, but yeah.
Yeah.
I recently, with the group, explored how to describe the emotion in music. So I played a few different tracks, asked everyone. We had a research-based wheel of emotions, where, you know, you pick between 8 different groups of emotions to choose which one described that piece of music the best. So we listened to the music, and there is actually a lot of variety in the what each person chose as the adjectives, what kind of emotion that conjured up for them. So it's very interesting to note that we don't all go, oh yes, that's really melancholy, or that's really uplifting, and that's really joyful. So we are all, you know, very different in our experiences of music in that way, and it's quite interesting. And I think we also choose music according to our moods. So if we
Yeah.
and we often choose music that matches the mood we're in sometimes, whether we're feeling a bit down or whether we're feeling really elated. So that's another really interesting discussion, I think.
Well, I mean, music as a vehicle for sort of recalibrating ourselves.
Nice.
There
Yeah.
is a thing called the ISO principle
Mhm.
that we use in music therapy often. Like if you have a very depressed person, you definitely you want to cheer them up, but you can't go in there and play a really happy tune
Mm.
and expect them to just switch out of the mood they're in. So
Mm.
sometimes we use music to meet us where we're at in that point in time, in that
Ah, I
moment.
see.
To kind of so we have something that resonates with us, and then we can gently carry ourselves off in the direction we want to go. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
I would say in these albums we're making, that is something that I always have in mind, is that the arrangement of the order of the songs is like a journey,
I
that
see.
if someone is patient enough to sit down and listen from the beginning to the end, that it does take you on a journey from somewhere to somewhere else. And for me, I would hope that that's it's a transformation, that you actually feel emotionally different or spiritually different by the end of spending an hour listening to that
Right.
music. So
You
Right.
want to very carefully consider the order
yeah,
of
I
the
mean,
songs.
you can't always, it's always not going to be an exact perfect thing, but it's something that happens by itself, actually, by the selection of the songs. In the end, they have a theme, they have a direction, and hopefully people feel that. And I know with the first one, the cello player, she sent it to her uncle, who had no interest in that sort of music, but he wrote back saying, I don't know what it is when I listen to this music. By the end of the album, I just feel so joyful and
Oh, nice.
quiet, peaceful. And he had no idea. And it's not music he's interested in, but he just listened to it and it had an effect on him. So I
nice.
guess that, for me, that's a sign of that we're making something good, that
Right.
It people feel something,
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought it up because my next question was about, this notion of single song release versus an album release, right? So these days with, streaming and everything, so album releases have become lesser and lesser compared to before, compared to, now we have, like, even for me, I just release one song in, and then that's it, right? So I mean, it's because I have a platform, YouTube, and there are many others that you can explore. But the importance of album release versus a song, I think the answer that you had previously about, that album takes you on a journey, like from beginning to the end, you kind of, if you put it the right order, you kind of evolve at the end, right? Then you get the message what the album is about to tell you, what you want, what the album wants you to experience by the time you finish the album, right? So I think that's kind of so important. I never thought about it that way. So yeah, that's kind of
I
enlightening.
find if I'm listening to an album, for example, driving home from work,
Yeah.
and the order is muddled up in the album, I find it very, very difficult because you're anticipating the next song and it's something different and the mood is changing. So
Yeah, it's
I find
disjointed.
that
Yeah. Yeah, I put together, I run a festival and just curate the curation process of programs is much like with the approach that Kevin describes as putting together an album and putting together the pieces on a concert is exactly, I think of that as the journey that you're taking the listener through is very important.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go down to a bit of a nitty-gritty of songwriting a bit, right? So um so when you're creating a song, right? So I mean you have diverse um all the band members you have diverse qualities in terms of instrument playing and different ranges, right? So when you create a song, how do you kind of sort of decide on, should this be heavy on the instruments, or should this be focusing on the lyrics or the vocals much, and then I mean, that's part of arrangement and finishing of the song, but what's the process that you decide which instruments to put, or how to go about, do you make that part heavier, softer? What's the process there?
Well, it's different for every song, but
Right.
luckily, I would say the songs that people are presenting, they're all rich in meaning. So there's no superficial content actually. So
Mm.
if people are writing words, that's the main focus is the words,
Right.
and then everything else is around it to support it.
Mm.
Some of them just fall into place really easily. And if people bring music as well, it's really easy. And others, there was a song on the second one, oh no, first album, Mercy.
Mhm.
It had such a long, convoluted process it started in a bus driving across Rajasthan. We were having a jam in the back of the bus driving somewhere. And we came up with this chord progression, this little melody.
Mhm.
I thought it sounded a little French. So there was a French guy on the bus, and I said, sounds French to me. Can you give me some words? And he did.
Okay.
Merci. So one word. And
That's nice.
he was saying that in the back of the bus for a
You
few
sure
hours.
he was French? Maybe he wasn't French.
Well, it was Jean-Michel.
Maybe
So,
knew one word.
yeah. Anyway,
He's verified.
He couldn't come up with any more words. And afterwards, when we got back, I thought, oh, that would be. I still felt like it was a song, even though he only had one word. And then I gave it to Caroline, who's also French, and she just wrote a whole novel, pretty much. And then we tried to put it to music, but we couldn't get it to work properly. And then we added all these different things. So it took a long time for it to come together as a finished song. It sound how I sort of imagined it in my mind.
I see.
And that process, I had to give up a lot about how I wanted it to end up, because it had all these other influences in it, and then Caroline had her own ideas, and she brought the words to it. So it was a very it took a long time to make that into a finished song.
I see.
But some songs just write themselves, just one I just wrote in Europe this year. I just had this very strong feeling after looking at the news. There was what was going on in Gaza and then in Ukraine, and I felt ill, actually. It was so terrible. And I wrote down all these words, and then I went to the cafe, and everyone was so happy there. It was in a little town in Italy, and so we had our instruments and we were playing some music, and it was so joyful, but I felt so terrible about all this thing. And I had these words that were full of talking about hate and greed and all these things. And the guy I was with, the musician, he said, oh, you can't say those things in the song. And so we worked on it, and he had this very nice way of changing the words. And it became very light and beautiful, the song, even though my feeling for making the song was very, very sad, but I didn't want it to be a sad song, because otherwise, just people end up sad. So, I guess every song's different in the way it's produced and what the music's going to be like. And it also just depends on who's there sometimes, like first album, when we were recording at Lena's house here where we're sitting now. We recorded a lot of that. And Mark, who's the Irish guy, he turned up to sing, and I had no idea what he could sing like, and he added all these sort of Irish lilting sounds, and because he was there at the moment and we had the recording gear, that song just took on a totally different ending just in the moment. So I think it's just different every time, I think.
So anything that you'd like to say about, your music and your album, anything that I have missed asking, right, that you'd want the viewers to know?
Does anyone have something they'd like to share?
Yeah, please. Go
Can't
ahead.
think of anything that's been. Well, there's we could talk for hours and hours and hours about music, I'm sure, and about you know, but what Kevin's done this brilliant thing, which is to curate the music and curate the people, and bring all this music together in this unique way. It's very hard actually to do that well, to bring so many different strands of creative expression together like that. So we're all very sort of proud of what he's doing and love being a part of it. So it's good. It forces us all to sort of think outside our comfort zone, outside the box, and sort of reach inside for that well of inspiration, see what comes out. It's nice to have that freedom and spontaneity to let that process just grow, organically like that. So thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
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 I must say that's one of the things I love about doing this is mixing with people creatively and allowing people to just express themselves in the moment. So like you were asking about how we make a song, I like it when people just turn up and make the music they feel rather than go, oh, we need it to sound like this, or can you play this? Or we very rarely have anything written. And so I think if people just get to express themselves and feel comfortable to express themselves, you end up with something that's very comfortable and organic. So I feel like that's what the journey is to have the technical side, have the creative side, and the expressive side, bring it all together, and then hopefully make something beautiful that moves people. And that's why it's nice to aim for a finished thing that you can put out in the world, and people can hopefully enjoy it, be moved by it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Anything you'd like to add for, specifically for the upcoming album, that, what would listener expect from this third album?
Well, it does it's got a working title, though I'm pretty fixed on it myself. We will have a more of a feedback, but it's at the moment the title is "Turn the Tide," which I guess for me is a feeling that there's a lot going wrong in the world at the moment. There's a lot to be depressed about if you look at all the negative things, but there's a lot of positive things as well, and a lot of small acts of kindness, just being conscious about how we do things, and that there's this energy inside of us, a desire for beauty, for transformation, for that human beings can be beautiful and incredible, and that we shouldn't be weighed down by all the things going wrong. So that idea, originally I was thinking the tide is turning, that there is a movement, as well as a destructive movement. There's an uplifting movement going on, and the idea of turn the tide is that we're actually active in that every action we have is, and you'll see on that album cover I sent you that it looks a little bit like an army sitting there. And if we act together, a lot of the songs are about that collectively, if we act together, we can bring about a transformation. So I guess that's the theme of the album, is that our actions mean something, that they count.
I see. Wow, that's beautiful. So when is the album going to release?
Oh, well, we're still waiting on a few musicians to give us their little part. So I'm hoping in about a month. Yeah. But it's more or less there. But there's still a bit of tweaking to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it was amazing to have this evening together, even though we are, not physically together, but it was such a good time. So, and thank you so much again, and best of luck for your album.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great. Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Hitesh.
Thank you.
Great to see everybody again.
Thank you for bringing us together on this interview, Hitesh.
Sure, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.